Hi, I'm George Stancliffe. I'm the author of Speed Reading for Kids. I'd like to talk for a few minutes about a subject which is really important for speed reading, and it's one of the largest landmines or obstacles for people getting good at speed reading. I'm talking about the fact that we have to practice every single day, 30 minutes a day preferably, or better, the speed reading skill. I can teach children and adults the basic skills on speed reading in one class time, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and go over them enough that you know how to practice, what you need to do. And then after that, the most important thing is every single day you use the speed reading skill 30 minutes to 60 minutes every single day, without exception. Don't take a day off. Yeah, I get it. If you miss a day, just get back in the next day. The tendency, though, is if you skip a day, then pretty soon you skip another day, then you skip another. Pretty soon you're not doing it again, doing it at all. So this is what, there's some specific reasons why it's so important. Have you ever heard of the story of a gold miner? This is back in the gold rush days of 1849 to 1850s in California. He found a vein of gold. So he started mining it. He was making money. Things were going great. Then one day the vein of gold just stopped. It was a geologic occurrence where there was a fault that had come in there, and just where the vein had just been cut off. It was nearby somewhere, but nobody knew how far away, because faults are pretty difficult to determine how far that had been offset. So he dug and dug and dug and dug, trying to continue on and find where that vein picked up again. No avail. So he sold his mine to someone else and moved away. The person that bought the mine dug 3 more feet, found the vein of gold, and became a millionaire. Okay? He learned a harsh lesson. If you quit too soon, you don't get the gold. And many people take a speed reading class, learn some basic skills, and then they don't practice. Or they practice a couple days and they skip it and then say, it's not for me, or, this is too hard, or I'm forgetting, whatever. There's lots of reasons. Life gets busy, stuff comes up. I know, I've lived through it myself. Things come up. The most important thing is to make a commitment. I'm going to speed read every single day for 30 to 60 minutes. Bingo, just do that. Make time for it. Within a few weeks, you're going to be doing pretty good. You'll be doing great. That skill will come. Your brain will catch up to it. Speed reading is based on a principle that if your normal reading speed is like this, and you force a certain higher speed, your brain will automatically stretch to catch up to that other speed. It'll do it. Your brain will catch up to that other speed up to a certain limit. I mean, certain people are capable of going way, 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 way fast, like tens of thousands or thousands of words a minute. Most of us, though, can still attain at least 1,000 words a minute, especially children. But even adults can read 1,000 words a minute or better with practice. With daily practice. It can be done. And you'll notice a difference day by day, week by week. Okay? And children get there very quickly, within a couple of weeks quite often. Many quite on the very, very first day, but just have them be patient. Not everyone achieves those levels of speed reading as quickly as the other. Every brain works a little differently, but it doesn't mean you're not smart. Everyone's smart. Even slow readers are really smart. So don't give up, okay? Don't be like the gold miner that lost the vein of gold and then just quit. Don't quit. Every single day, you'll actually feel exactly like you were the day before. You think, am I getting this? Just keep doing it. I went through that myself. Am I getting any better? I feel like I'm doing just as well as today as I did yesterday. No, just keep practicing every single day. At the end of a week, look back at it and say, I'm doing better than I was a week ago. That's the proof that you're actually getting better. Just keep on doing that. Percentage of comprehension goes from 10% to 20% to 30% to 40%. all the way up. Those last few percentages take longer, but by then you're reading 70 or 80% and getting that 70, 80% comprehension. Okay, so don't quit. A lot of times what happens is people take a speed reading class and say, yay, I can speed read. Maybe they do really good on their speed reading class. I remember at one class in particular, I had 2 or 3 children that were extremely gifted. I mean, one of them was like reading 10,000 words a minute. They were actually understanding on the very first day. 10,000 words a minute. Can you imagine? That's like a page a second. Who can do that good on the first day of a speed reading class? Well, one of these kids was that fast, and there was a couple others that were really gifted in that class. I thought, wow, this is an amazing class. 2 weeks later, I called up the parents. These guys lived in a city far away. I could only go there and do a one-night workshop, so it was just all I could do. I can't go driving off to faraway cities every single day. No, it was a one-night workshop. I showed them what to do. And anyway, so 2 weeks later, I called the parents, the mother in particular. I said, hey, how's Johnny doing? Oh, Johnny came home. He hasn't practiced any yet, but he can't speed read anymore. No surprise to me. If you don't practice, whatever you gain, you lose. Easy come, easy go. The fact is that most people don't understand that speed reading is not the same skill as slow reading. It doesn't take place on the same part of your brain as slow reading. So what happens is, it's similar to when you learn to read in first grade. In first grade, when you're learning how to read, you're training and formatting a part of your brain to process language skills at a certain rate using certain skills. And in slow reading, you're sounding things out, you're doing all the phonics and all that other stuff. But when you're doing speed reading, it's a completely different part of your brain. It is not the same part of your brain. That other part of your brain that does the speed reading has to be trained, has to be formatted to speed read. It's the part of your brain, for it to read properly, it needs to speed read, it needs to go fast. Well, you just have to do it, and you have to speed read every single day. And at first, your comprehension is very, very little. That's just the nature of having to learn how to do this. Yes, some children catch on to this very quickly within a few minutes. Young children, that's actually fairly common to have happen, but it doesn't universally happen. Most people take a little bit of practice, a few days before they start feeling confident with this. Children. Adults might take a few weeks. Okay? So what we have here is you just need to do it and just practice. And gradually it gets better and better. So here, think about what happened when you're in first grade. If you had quit reading after a week or so of practice, would you have ever become a good reader? No. You have to use the skill daily to get that part of your brain strong. And it's the same thing with speed reading. Since you're formatting a part of your brain to do that skill, and it takes time to build up strength and ability to just do that, it just takes time. Fortunately, it's easy. You don't get tired like running around the track and getting exhausted on a workout for the track team. You just pull out fun, easy books and just speed read them. Give yourself, 2 seconds a page, 3 seconds a page, 5 seconds a page. If you're doing paper books, 5 seconds a page is a good speed to practice at for a lot of people. If you're slower and 1,000 words a minute is the best you can do, just do 1,000 words a minute. Use the Caliber ebook reader. That's a really great way to practice speed reading if you're an adult especially, because you can adjust the size of the font and you can do quite well at speed reading, much better with large size font than you can with tiny print that's found in most books. So get the Caliber ebook reader and get some ebooks from simple books like A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Very easy to read. It's a nice heartwarming story. It's wonderful. You can speed read that in just a short amount of time. It's not a very long book. That's a good one. There's some other classics. You can download them for free from Gutenberg.org. Lots of great classic books on that website for free. Just download them to the Caliber ebook reader. Caliber, CALIBRE ebook.com. Great. It's free. Download it to any laptop computer as long as it's got Windows software or Linux or Apple. Any of those 3 operating systems it works on. Let me give you a couple of examples. There was a friend of mine named Steve. He had 2 sons. I was thinking of a new way to teach speed reading. I said, Steve, can I borrow your 2 children to teach them to speed read? I have a new idea for teaching speed reading. I want to practice it on someone before I practice it on a class. He said, sure. So I went over and practiced speed reading. And so I taught him and his brother and their mom. They were all there. And taught them to speed read. And I said to their mom, you need to make sure these 2 boys practice speed reading every single day. And so she did. Every single day they practiced. I met with them once a week for 4 weeks, and they practiced every single day. And I said, now you just need, now that the class is over and they're doing great, have them speed read every single day, on and on and on and on, as an ongoing thing. And she did. 2 years later, I talked to Steve. I said, Steve, how are they doing? And he said, well, my son, he mentioned the name of the older one. Me and him went fishing last Saturday, and by noon he had already read 3 books, but he spent most of his time fishing. But every now and then you pull out a book and speed read that, and then he'd go back to fishing. He did most of his time fishing, but he read 3 books. These are like Star Wars books. So he was a really good speed reader. He could read like 8,000 words a minute. His little brother could do 3,000 words a minute. Really good for kids that are like, 12 years old, 10 years old. They were quite gifted. So, but the thing was, they weren't that good. They were pretty good in the class, but they kept speed reading every single day. The results are just amazing. As they just keep using it, they get better. Their memory gets better. Long-term retention gets better. All these different skills take time and practice to become cemented in the brain. So at first, your comprehension isn't that good for the first few days for a lot of people. Daily practice is the thing that gets everything going well in speed reading every single day. Okay? That's all I have to say. Don't forget to practice every day. That is the big key. Once you learn those skills, those easy skills you can learn one day, it's daily use of the skill in fun, easy books. They got to be fun, or you're not going to want to speed read. And they've got to be easy, so you're learning the skill and not 20 other things at the same time. You got to practice, and then your difficulty level will gradually improve over time. But just fun and easy, always. And you'll find you'll have amazing results. You'll love what you're doing, and you'll be so excited about speed reading. You'll be learning tons of new things. So anyway, that's all I had to say. Thanks. Bye.